thank you all for coming today. It's a very sad day. Hard to get through, but it's good to be here with friends. It's never a good day when we have to say goodbye to someone. So I just want to welcome everyone. Today we celebrate the life of Mike Price. Friend to some, father, wife, and others to others. To begin the ceremony, I'd like us all to join for a moment of prayer, because if any of you knew Mike, you know he's a very spiritual person. So please bow your heads. At the end of this day, O Lord Satan, I thank you for each gift that you have bestowed upon me and those that you have taken from others, for teaching me your ancient ways, even when they no longer apply, for experiences both good and bad that has made me stronger, for people that you have taught me through, mainly through their failures, for the pleasures in which I have taken part in, and they were many. As I sleep, I ask that I may enter your dark realm, so that I may be in your unholy presence. Guide me, Lord Satan, unto yourself, and I may forever grasp in your mighty wings. To begin the ceremony today, I want to point out the table that's up front. If any of you have been to a ceremony, a military ceremony, this is the table for the missing and forgotten. As we look upon this table, you'll notice that it is this table is set for one, and it is small to symbolize the size of his heart. There is no tablecloth because he was a cheap bastard. There should be a single flower to remind us of the family that he leaves behind. The candle warmer is not lit. It symbolizes the itty-bitty flame that has been extinguished by his passing. There should be some salt and lemon, but we had two bodies in a row, and I didn't have time to go to the commissary. The glass is empty, because his glass was always empty, ready to be refilled. The chair is also empty, for he is not here with us. Remember, all of you who served with him and called him comrade, who depended on him, his might and his aid, and relied upon him, for he is gone and can cause you no more pain. Remember, until the day we meet again, unless you go to a lighter place, for the place he is most certainly very warm. Next, I'd like to invite one of Mike's close friends, Michael Potter, up to read the eulogy.
Good afternoon. This should be hard to read and very sad, but it's not. This is Mike Price we're talking about. He was born in 1975. Recent Supreme Court ruling, Roe v. Wade, that ended unwanted pregnancies was again an option. But a small town in Texas, there's no family planning clinics. So the Price were forced to, unfortunately, accept their circumstances. And we're given a son. In elementary school, he found himself struggling to fit in. He spent nights home, alone, playing Dungeons and Dragons against his cat, Miss Pretty. In high school, Mike finally found his place in the marching band and jazz choir. Well, there, he perfected his flute playing, quickly rose to the top of his class. Mike also participated in a ROTC program where he was assigned duties as a quartermaster and battalion morale officer. After graduation, Mike decided to serve his country and applied to join the U.S. Navy. with desires of becoming a submariner. To spend his days and nights locked away in a submarine iron tube, surrounded by tons of seamen dreaming. But unfortunately, he didn't qualify. Knowing the Army would accept anyone, Mike enlisted, became American infantryman. With his first assignment, the 101st Airborne, Fort Campbell, now Private Price, worked under a man that would soon become his first hero and idol, General Petraeus. In the field and garrison, Mike worshipped the general and gave his heart and soul to Petraeus' army. After a tearful goodbye to Fort Campbell, Mike and his family were reassigned to Schofield Barracks, where he learned the joys of island life and the delights of Mahalo. While Mike came under investigation for indiscretions with military working dogs, but he was cleared of most charges. In Mike's career path, he became an elite member of an organization known as Army CID. As an agent, Mike soared through the ranks of sergeant all the way to staff sergeant, serving in all kinds of positions, such as case agent, and he was also deployed as a case agent. His last assignment that sadly caused us to say goodbye to our dear friend. It is often said in CID that you can survive, if you can survive Fort Bragg, you can survive anywhere. While the full details of his demise has not been released, mainly to prevent the embarrassment of his dear family, I can tell you this: no man more proudly wore a uniform of an American soldier than Staff Sergeant Price, regardless of the gender of the undergarments that his uniform covered. On a side note, I can tell you, in my life, God has unfortunately blessed me with the same initials as Michael J. Price, and I have to live in that horror for the rest of mine. Thank you.
Next, I'd like us all to try and be a little more uplifted and enjoy some music. I'd like to invite Miss Ella up here to sing a song.
Hello, I'm Ella Davis. I'm about to sing a song that described Special Agent Price's personality and face. We're gonna miss him. Grumpy cat, oh grumpy cat, how are they treating you? Grumpy cat, oh grumpy cat. It's not your fault. They won't let you PCS. You're obviously not their favorite pet. You may not be a bed of roses. You're no one's friend, and we all know this. I promise you before we're done, the world will all frown as one. Grumpy cat, oh grumpy cat, Your mustache is getting fat. Sorry. I laugh at funerals. All the dogs in the neighborhood are saying it's for your own good. Grumpy cat, oh grumpy cat, you missed another review. Grumpy cat, oh grumpy cat, how are they treating you? Grumpy cat, oh grumpy cat, it's not your fault. Everyone! Grumpy cat, oh grumpy cat, how are they treating you? Grumpy cat, oh grumpy cat, we miss you. Very good.
Stop clapping. Beautiful. Next, I'd like to ask Mike's wife to come up and say a few words.
I'd just like to thank everyone on behalf of the kids and I for being here today. When Michael and I met, I was in college. I was a promising young student, and he was a town drunkard. It was a match made in heaven. He patiently waited for me to graduate from college by enlisting in the Army. Our long-distance relationship was so tough, and we barely had any time together. So we cherished the moments we had. Like that one time, I came to visit during spring break, and I got kicked out of the barracks at 6 o'clock in the morning. But then I graduated and we got married. We were living the dream in our 600 square foot apartment. Things were pretty blissful. And then we got to move to Hawaii. And it was every bit the paradise I was led to believe. And I got to experience it with my husband when he wasn't at work. But we made good friends, and we had our daughter, Abby. And then our son, Jack, came along while we were in Colorado. And it's just really too bad he'll never know that neither of our kids were his. I'm sure gonna miss his I'm sure gonna miss him. Thank you all for coming out.
Before we ask anybody who else has their own personal story they'd like to tell, we'd like to share a few poems or quotes in a poem that really remind us of Mike. So I'd like to ask Jesse to come up.
Daddy comes home soon. Anyway, there's a few poems that really speak to Mike. It's been an honor working with such a mediocre case agent over these last 2 years, and just how he strives for just meeting the standard is just impeccable. And that's obviously shown in his promotion and his continued stay here at Fort Bragg. It's just, we can all strive to be so motivated. Anyway, to quote George Carlin, I'm always relieved when someone is delivering a eulogy and I realize I'm listening to it. I went to many funerals with Mike and he always said that. Not sure why we went to so many females' funerals without his family, but always meant a lot to him. Anyway, oh dear, if you're reading this right now, I must have given up the ghost. I hope you can forgive me for being such a stiff and unwelcome host. Just talk amongst yourself, my friends, and share a toast or two, for I'm sure you will remember well how I loved and drank with you. Sorry. Don't worry about mourning me. I was never easy to offend. Feel free to share this story at my expense, and we'll have a good laugh at the end. And to finish up, to quote the great Winston Churchill, I'm ready to meet my maker. Whether my maker is prepared for the great ordeal of meeting me is another matter. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to open up the podium. If there's anybody that has their own personal story they'd like to reflect or just talk to the group. Is there anyone who'd like to speak? No, I'm not surprised. So the last thing we're going to do today, as I mentioned at the beginning of the ceremony, Mike was a very spiritual person. He had strong beliefs in many things. And one of those things he believed was in the ability to reach across the divide of death and life and speak. He believed in ghosts. He believed in the communication with ghosts. So what I'd like to do at this point is to see if we can speak to Mike from the other side. So if any of you have ever seen any of the paranormal TV shows, you know that you can record the decedent's voice and play it back later. So if Mike happens to be with us today, I invite him up front and have him speak into the recorder so that we can once again hear his voice. So,
Come on, Mike. You're out there.
if everyone could please bow your heads, close your eyes, and concentrate and try and reach out.
Turn that phone off, please. Just turn the phone off.
That wasn't me.
Mike's calling. I heard him. Answer the phone.
Earmuffs, kids. You are all so haunted. So haunted. I'm going to be living in one of your refrigerators
It's okay.
every night of the week.
Oh, it's not.
Truly, to incur this level of scorn, truly, it's touching and inspiring to me to know the lengths people would go to for me, and it's humbling. Thank you, and I mean that sincerely. I appreciate it. Being on the other side is all confusion and darkness, but I know that with the help of people I know, relatively mediocre friends, that I can find my way to the light and the sweet bliss that I've been searching for my entire life. Thank you.
Oh, that was amazing. Did anyone else hear that?
And just to fill in a little bit, everyone, we did actually receive his death certificate today. And we can't release everything, but I can tell you the cause and manner. And according to the coroner, the cause of death was autoerotic asphyxiation, and the manner unnatural. Now I invite everybody to come forward and enjoy some cake.